This guy found a strange man in the garage who eats bugs, slugs and mice. Who he turned out to be, we'll find out from the recap of Skellig. This boy's name is Michael, and he is moving to a new house with his family. His mother is pregnant, and his little sister is about to be born. The new house looks awful. It's an old and partially ruined house that, in Michael's opinion, could collapse any moment. Inside, the house looks no better. A cobweb hangs on the light bulb, and its owner, a huge spider, crawls nearby. Michael goes upstairs and is startled by a large crow. Well, clearly, this is not the house he dreamed of. Moreover, there is a rusty toilet in one of the rooms, not the most pleasant sight. His father does everything he can to lift Michael's spirit, and, for a moment, he even smiles, but then he becomes sad again. The boy goes up his room and jumps to the old bed. Dad warns him that the boards are old and the floor might collapse. The night comes and all the insects wake up. A couple of cats on the street angrily meow and hiss. Michael opens his eyes and sees a huge spiderweb above him. He's not thrilled about it. In the morning, Mom tries to tidy up the house. She cleans the stove and makes toast. Michael complains to his mom about hundreds of spiders in his room and goes to school. In singing class, he sees a fly land on a girl's hair, but a boy named Lakey shoots it away. He is one of the strongest kids in the class. In gym class, he confidently jumps into a pool from a high diving board and gets praised by the coach. Then it's Michael's turn. He hesitantly climbs the diving board. It turns out he's very afraid of heights, so he can't bring himself to jump. In the locker room, Michael is teased by his classmates, but Lakey stands up for him. They leave school together and wish each other a good day. We learn that Michael's dad is a cab driver. At home, Mom is still cleaning, and the boy has lunch outside and notices a mouse there. It seems it's not afraid of him at all. The grey rodent leads Michael and he follows it. The mouse leads him to an abandoned shed, and he goes inside. Everything there is covered in cobwebs. Giant cockroaches crawl around, and there's a voice saying, "Who's there?" Startled Michael runs out of the shed and sees that his mother is in labor. An ambulance takes the woman to a maternity hospital. Michael's dad arrives there as well. He tells his son that his little sister has been born. The baby was born prematurely and isn't quite healthy, so she's put in the medical box. Returning home, Dad and son clean up the house. They clean up all the mess and cobwebs, remove old carpets, and even take out the rusty toilet from the room. After that, Michael goes outside and notices a long-haired girl. Her name is Mina. She's his neighbor. The girl notices that there are many different creatures living in his garden, and then leaves. Michael decides to explore the old shed again. There really is someone inside. The stranger asks Michael to leave, and the boy runs home. He overhears a phone conversation between his mom and dad, and realizes that his sister is seriously ill. At school, Lakey gives Michael a ticket to the sports tournament. The boy complains to a friend that some man is living in his shed. Lakey is sure it's just a regular hobo and needs to be chased away. In biology class, Michael opens his desk and sees a multitude of insects inside. There are maggots, cockroaches and some bugs. All the students scream in fright when the insects scatter around the classroom. The boy returns home in a terrible mood. A notebook with a drawing of a crow falls from a tree onto him. It turns out his new neighbor Mina dropped it. She tries to befriend him, but he's not very friendly. Moreover, another bug falls from his hair to the ground. Returning home, Michael hurries to the shed and looks at the weird stranger. He doesn't look well. The man catches and eats a snail, throwing its shell into a bucket. The kind boy wants to help the poor man, but the stranger asks him to forget about him. Meanwhile, his newborn sister's condition gets worse. In the hospital, among the patients, Michael notices a cheerful old lady in pink who advises him to never give up. This granny's name is Grace, and she's confident she'll dance again soon. She gives Michael a grape. The boy listens to his sister's heartbeat. He's very worried about her. At home, Michael's neighbor Mina comes to the yard again. She tells him that she doesn't go to school, so she has no friends, and quotes her favorite poet's verses to him. At night, Michael takes a flashlight, retrieves the remains of his dinner from the trash bin, and goes to the shed to the stranger. There, he lights a lamp and treats his new friend to some food. The man eats greedily, but then he starts feeling sick and shoos Michael away. As he leaves, the boy takes with him a feather that looks like an owl's. The next day at the hospital, the same cheerful old lady shows him pictures of her son. The boy tells her about his new friend, and she gives him a grape again. The shed with the stranger is infested with mushrooms. The man feels progressively worse. Finally, Michael's mother returns home with her girl. The baby cries at night, which keeps him from sleeping. But he doesn't get angry, tenderly stroking his sister's head. A new day comes. In gym class, Michael makes a great jump, and the man in the shed smiles happily, as if he sees it with his own eyes. In the evening, Michael goes to him and asks him not to eat the mushrooms to avoid getting sick. He gives the man an aspirin and cold syrup, but he doesn't like the medicine at all. Flies, bugs and spiders seem to taste much better to him. Michael and Lakey are playing together in the forest. The boy shows a real gun he took from his father and plans to shoot a rabbit, but Michael pushes him and Lakey misses the shot. Suddenly, the boy realizes that something bad is happening and immediately rushes home. He sees that his parents are arguing. The matter is that the little girl is still sick and mom and dad are really afraid of losing her. Tears flow down the cheeks of the man in the shed. The parents and the little girl leave for the hospital, and Michael angrily clears weeds on his property. Because of this, everything in the shed shakes and falls. During the day, the boy meets Mina and tells her that his little sister has been taken to the hospital. The girl leads him to the woods and shows a half-ruined tower standing right by the river. It's there that they become real friends. Michael peeks into the shed and sees that a stranger is sleeping and not reacting to anything. However, the man regains consciousness. The boy tells him about his sick sister, but the stranger seems indifferent to it. The next day, Michael brings Mina to the shed, and also he brings a bottle of beer for the man. The girl says that he looks like a living dead. The next day, Michael's father goes to clear the shed. To stop him, the boy jumps from the bed onto the broken boards and falls to the first floor. Dad immediately forgets about the shed. In the hospital, Michael meets the same cheerful old lady in pink. She assures the boy that his little sister will get better, and of course gives him a grape, and also fish oil for the stranger in the shed. On the way home, Dad cries and then drinks a lot of beer. He notices that some of the bottles have disappeared. At night, the boy wakes up from a strange noise. He sees that his father is trying to destroy the shed in the yard and begs him not to do it. Dad goes into the house for matches, and in the meantime, Michael tries desperately to get the stranger to leave. But this man doesn't seem to care about his life at all. Michael's father pours gasoline on the shed and throws a lit paper into it. The boy manages to pull the stranger out of the fire. He runs to Mina and tells her that he left the man in the woods because his dad burned down the shed. At dawn, they drag the stranger to the half-ruined tower near the river. There, the man finally reveals his name, Skellig. Michael brings him a few bottles of beer. He and Mina take off the man's jacket and see on his back real wings. Skellig now looks either like a fallen angel or a huge owl. The man says his wings are not in good condition and falls asleep. The friends study various books to understand who this Skellig is. Lakey and another boy follow them, teasing Michael and his new friend. At night, the friends go to visit Skellig, but they can't find him anywhere. It turns out he climbed a tower and met an owl that brought him a mouse. It looks like she's feeding him. Skellig takes Michael and Mina by the hands. Together, they take off into the air and start spinning around. The kids are thrilled. After a minute, weakened Skellig falls to the ground. Michael notices that the burn on his hands has completely healed. It seems this man can not only fly, but also heal. At home, Dad lectures Michael about the dangers of alcoholism. Michael just laughs in response. Apparently, Dad assumed that Michael was drinking the beer that he was actually giving to Skellig. During the day, Michael and Mina bring their friend another portion of beer, and also make him take fish oil and give him mouthwash so his breath doesn't stink so bad. Skellig takes a few sips and says that it's not bad. The kids are horrified and explain that mouthwash needs to be spit out, not drunk. After that, they wash Skellig's wings and make them soft and silky. But this man hates water. At school, Michael is called home in the middle of class. His little sister got worse. He rushes to Skellig and begs him for help, but the man responds that he can't do it. At the sports tournament, Lakey notices that Michael didn't come to support him. This upsets the boy very much, and he makes a bad jump. Crying Michael goes to Mina. The girl supports her friend, and they spend the night together at her house. In the morning, Michael's father tells him that the little girl will be operated on today. He sits in the hospital with his parents, anxiously watching the clock. Michael decides to visit the old woman Grace, but he learns that she passed away last night. He recalls her words about never giving up and rushes to the half-ruined tower. Lakey notices the boy with a gun behind his back and follows him. It starts raining. Lakey catches up to Michael and scolds him for missing the tournament. A fight breaks out between them. Lakey climbs the stairs and Michael desperately tries to stop him. He begs his friend to leave and Lakey walks away, feeling hurt. Meanwhile, Michael climbs up to Skellig. He takes off his jacket and, after standing on the edge for a few seconds, he raises his arms and jumps. Of course, Skellig saves him. He grabs the boy and carries him on his wings. Together, they fly over the mountains, rivers and even the city, soaring to the sky. At that moment, the surgery of Michael's sister comes to an end. The doctors are unsure if the girl will survive the night. During the night, Skellig appears in the hospital. He silently walks through the corridor and finds the girl's room. Her tired mother sleeps nearby. Skellig lifts the child in his arms and spreads his wings. He takes off from the ground, twirling together with the little girl. In the morning, Michael is awakened by Mina. It turns out the boy slept in the forest all night. He comes to the hospital and sees that his little sister is already much better. The boy suggests naming her Grace, in honor of the same old lady in pink. The parents agree. The happy family returns home, and Michael immediately reconciles with Lakey. Then, together with Mina, they go to Skellig and treat him to some Chinese food. The man says it's time to say goodbye and flies away with the birds. And Michael and Mina hurry to do their homework. They say a special place in heaven is reserved for anyone who subscribes to our channel. You've been watching the Movie Cat channel. I'll see you later.